At the end of the day, I think we could chalk this up to I'm not going to speak for Jerry. I wasn't right. I wasn't wrong. I was just a fucking immature piece of shit. Boom!
Boom!
That's what I was
always
waiting
wanted
for.
to do that. I've always so. Truth be told, the first time I was exposed to Marc,
You exposed yourself to
the first time that I saw Marc online, a video popped up and I didn't know what it was, and I clicked on it. And he goes, "Boom!" And I was like, "What the fuck is this guy?" I'm like, "What?"
Bro. So anyway, this was when I posted that Jerry's coming in town. This was by far the most asked question. And they wanted us to talk about BCAA and EAA. Now,
thank you guys for remembering and asking. It means they remember us. That's good.
Well, I mean, at least something came out of that fucking disaster. So basically, we had an internet-induced feud. I'll call it a feud. Where I'm basically the guy who pioneered the popularity of BCAA. I'm not going to say I invented branch chains, but I popularized their use during intra.
Which I didn't know, by the way. I just want to. I didn't know. I knew he worked with Scivation, and I knew he was part owner of Scivation, right? Mm-hmm. But I didn't know that Marc was the pioneer at the time when I made the EA videos until he told me, "What the fuck, man? I pioneered this. I pretty much brought in the market." And I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know."
Well, nonetheless, I'm a fucking idiot, and I'm going on my I'm sorry tour. It's not an apology tour. It's literally, there's a difference between, like, you ever, like, get mad at your wife and you say, I apologize? You don't mean that shit.
She's going to see this video. No, I never get mad at my wife. I don't ever get mad at my wife.
Okay, let's assume we have a friend who gets mad at his wife.
Yeah. We have friends who get mad at their wives all the time.
But when you truly apologize, you say, I'm sorry. When you say I apologize, that's a bullshit. Apologize isn't like a sentimental word. Sorry hurts. Like, sorry, like, I'm a sorry sack of shit. It's not like, if you're a sorry sack of shit versus I'm an unapologetic sack of shit, different things. So, anyway, my contention is not like EAA. I actually have an EAA product right now with Intra Advantage from 0-5. And my contention was that EAA are comprised of partially of the 3 BCAA, and most EAA formulas were mainly the 3 BCAA. But I also get the contention that if you're taking in the BCAA, it doesn't hurt to have the other EAAs floating around. So my contention, which I don't think there's a right answer here, is that if you're getting adequate protein in your diet, then you already have the EAAs floating around from their free forms. However, caveat that I never explained, if you're training in the morning on an empty stomach, then maybe it's good to have those floating amino acids. Then you have another question, which at the time wasn't addressed via studied amino acid blends. How much of the other amino acids do you have? Because a lot of these EAAs on the market were simply the BCAAs with very low dose EAAs, because a lot of these, like proline and others, are extremely expensive. Yeah. So they were underdosed. And there was one formula that was actually really well researched, but the flavor was so bad that no one could do it. Now, when Compound Solutions launched Amino 9 with the proper ratios, I'm like, well, this is legit. Yeah. And that's why I came out with it. But there's a time and place. So that's my contention, is that I'm not a non-fan of EAA. I'm just not I actually like BCAA.
My whole thing was, if we have BCAAs and we add the EAs, is it going to work better? Is it going to give you more punch, more bang for your buck? Now, if you take all 9 EAs and you take the branch chains away from it, it doesn't work the same without the branch chains. They need each other to work together. Now, what Marc's saying is, if you take an essential amino acid supplement that has BCAAs in it, which it does because they're all essential amino acids. And that was another thing people are confused. They're like, well, why are there BCAAs in it if it's an essential amino acid formula? Because BCAAs are essential amino acids.
33% of the amino acids.
Right. So there was some confusion with that stuff too. But when you drink an amino acid formula like that and it goes into your bloodstream, you have something called the amino acid pool. So the amino acid pool is your short-term storage where these amino acids go, and your body pulls from them. Now that thing depletes roughly for an adult 2 to 3 hours, which means if you're not eating every 2 to 3 hours, you're going to be depleted of aminos in general. So you need to get that food in. Well, sometimes you can't get the food in. So taking an essential amino acid formula would be like basically just eating chicken or eating egg whites or something like that.
In its most basic free form, unbound.
And then boom, you just drink it, it's in your blood, and it's ready to work. And that was my thing, was I wanted to get something that worked so fast and get it in your system, Because I knew the faster you get the nutrition in your system, the faster your body can use it, the faster you recover. The faster you recover, the faster you grow. Like, you have to recover before you grow. And that's why I started delving into the amino acids. Because I was like, what was in those giant horse pills we used to take? Remember those giant, like, they were like the size
who
of
knows
right?
what the fuck was
they were like glandulars and all, but it was a lot of essential amino acids. And that's where I got the idea. I was like, look, we used to take handfuls of these things and they worked really great. And of course, we just got sick of taking handfuls because they were so big that if I remember 5 of them, it was like we ate a meal.
Jerry, I remember I bought some of those when I was in high school from Big 5 Sporting Goods in Culver City, California. And in the middle of my workout, I remember stopping and taking fucking like 15 of these things. And my coach looked at me like, Lobliner, what the fuck are you doing? This is how old we are, right? So I think that and again, like, when we had, like, things evolve, right? My initial response was fucking immature because I didn't look at it and I also got riled up. Like, I got caught up in the internet.
Yes. So
and these motherfuckers, you motherfuckers, were like Jerry says that you're an asshole, and then I watch it. You never call me an asshole.
But it must be another video I missed. It must be in another video.
But I didn't watch it, and I'm like, as I look back, and both of us, like, Jerry's the man who came to me and like, dude, we got to squash this, right? Yeah. Like, I'm a bitch. I didn't say shit. I just moved on.
My wife was really upset. She was like, and I wouldn't say she gives me shit, but she would be like, look, you got to squash this with Mark. Like, this is not good.
It was
I
weird.
like you guys together. You guys are good together. Like, you're kind of like one and the same. So it doesn't make any sense to be arguing. And then finally one night I was like, out of the blue too, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to text Mark. And I had to talk to him like 2 years or something like that. And I was like, you know, for you guys that don't know, you may not have any concept of this. In 2012 or 2012, I think it was 2013, I went to the Olympia Expo and I met Mark for the first time. Mm-hmm. He was at the Isotori booth. And I walked up to him, we spoke for a few minutes. I knew who he was from online and stuff. And I asked him about BioGrow. And I asked him, I said, if you tell me this stuff works and shake my hand, I'll go buy it right now and use it. And he said, it works. It absolutely works. So I shook his hand. I bought 2 bottles of it. I went home and tried it. Now, I don't know about the product now, but the product back then gave us a really good pump.
It was really fucking
So I hit him up. I said, hey, Mark, I'm using this stuff. This is what I'm seeing. It doesn't say that it does that. He put me in touch with Stephen Adelaide, and I got my first expos that I booked through Mark. Mark got me involved in the expos. So this goes back, you know, people don't realize our backstory in general. It's not just like 2 random guys on the internet. He helped me out a lot getting into all the expos in that part of the industry in general.
I think the one thing about this whole feud isn't the EAA versus BCAA. It's us as human beings. You know, I think that, you know, at the time, you know, we were playing the YouTube game, right? Like, oh, well, this guy talks shit about this guy. Is this guy natty? It's like you get caught up in this. And then one day you wake up or your wife can tell you're a fucking idiot, whichever one. You wake up and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm fucking, at the time I was like 38 when you messaged me, right? I'm 38 years old and I'm having a feud over something I don't not like. Right. And it's just like, what's going on? First thing I'm like, dude, thank you so much for texting me. Like, this is,
I expected him to be like, fuck you. I expected to get like blasted back.
I think I even showed, you know, dude, Jerry texted me. This is awesome. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, EAAs are good, right? I think the one thing at the time is we didn't have an answer for how to combine them and how much. Like, BCAAs are pretty simple. 2 to 1 to 1. It's pretty easy. And the only reason people go 8 to 1 to 1 or 4 to 1 to 1 is because leucine's the cheapest. Yeah. And it's the most effective. But the data's on, I mean, not really, I think they're synergistic. I think they work best together. But when you look at the EAA formulas, they have the BCAA. So it's actually BCAA plus a little bonus stuff. And if you get the cost down, get the flavor right, I think it's a viable option. Now, if I'm training midday and I've had 2 or 3 meals in me and I'm eating a high protein diet, I'm going to be more worried about the MPS that, you know, leucine with the other 2 aminos will elicit. But if I'm training first thing in the morning, or let's say I'm training in the afternoon and I've gone like 3.5, 4 hours without a meal, then I'm going to be more interested in a full spectrum essential amino acid.
Like if you're a hard kid or using like the full spectrums and stuff like that will help out a lot. But I think a lot of people, you know, they don't understand what the amino acids do. So 2 of the amino acids in branched chain amino acids create glucose. They create energy. So part of the mechanism of branched chain amino acids is if you're taking it, your body will use those for fuel and not tap into muscle tissue to break them down to get those amino acids to create glucose. Mm-hmm. So if you're, you know, like using an intra workout, those branched chain amino acids will keep you from tapping into muscle. If you get up in the morning, you're not looking at just keeping your body from tapping into muscle. You want your body to be recovering right after the workout as fast as possible. With those essential amino acids, it'll help you with that part. So there definitely was some different applications to it that I think, again, wrapped up in the whole, like, Mark said this, Mark said that. And I remember I watched, like, a whole, like, video that he put up. And I was like, I didn't see him say anything. It must be in another video or something. And still ran with it and be like, what the fuck? He said this or that.
We both did the same thing. We're fucking idiots. We were too old for that.
But that was YouTube back then.
Yeah,
back then, we would.
That's YouTube now. We just don't do it.
Right. Well, I think because we've matured.
Yeah, we've gotten more mature. But here's the thing. So another thing is I do have bias because I actually spent tens of thousands of dollars on a study when I owned Scivation on Extend. Now, going over the study, it was never published. It was a poster presentation on ISSN. And the company was sold before it was published. And Stepani, who actually conducted part of the study, went on and did his own thing. And obviously, conflict of interest. He didn't give a fuck about publishing it. Yeah. Good for him, right? I wasn't in the company anyway. But so the Extend group, it was Extend versus whey protein versus Gatorade. Gatorade was a control, and everybody was on a controlled diet. So the Extend group gained 9 pounds of lean mass, lost 4.5 pounds of fat in 12 weeks. The whey protein group, which used Scivation Whey, so it was our own company, gained 4 pounds of lean mass, lost 2 pounds of fat, so about half. And there's a double-blind controlled study done through the College of Charleston and the Weider Research Group. The Gatorade group gained 1 pound of lean mass and lost 0 pounds of fat.
They actually gained lean mass?
They gained 1 pound.
Wow.
But they were on a fucking great diet and training program. Control was 1 pound and 0 pounds, whereas the Extend group gained 9 pounds and lost 4.5 pounds. And it was profound.
And was that reaction because there's more branch chains in the Extend than there would be in the whey protein?
So the conclusion that we had to come to, because the calories and protein were accounted for in the whey protein group, the calories were accounted for, is that free form has some mechanism of action during training because of its ability to bypass digestion because it's in its free form, whereas whey protein is a bound form where your body has to actually break it down. First. So again, it needs more research. I'm not going to run with this. You don't see me quoting this. At the end of the day, here's what I want you to do. I want you to drink something with some kind of amino acids in it during training. If you're training in the morning, okay, EAA on a fasted stomach, or if you're going a while between meals, EAA is going to be superior. It just is. Just make sure you get a formula that uses something like amino 9 from Compound Solutions, or they have an explanation for why they use that blend. That was my contention. If you're training midday, I don't think it really matters. If you have enough protein in your system, that amino acids.
Well, some people don't even have to eat at all. They can just go train and they have enough aminos. Like if you eat an hour and a half before, you have aminos in the amino acid pool. So your body will be able to pull whatever's left in your blood and pull from that amino acid.
I still think it might not be able to replenish as fast. And that's why the Extend study, they were eating pre-workout.
Oh, they were?
They were eating like 6 meals a day.
Interesting. Okay.
I have this. It's on my computer over there. So bottom line is, I think I'm good. I like all of them. I like aminos. I like amino acids. And at the end of the day, I think we could chalk this up to I'm not going to speak for Jerry. I wasn't right. I wasn't wrong. I was just a fucking immature piece of shit. And that's it. And I could sit here and I could fucking justify it. Like my marriage was messed up at the time, which by the way, it kind of was. I could go with, I was fucking hungry, which I was probably hungry at the time. But at the end of the day, it was a real immature, fucking shitty thing to do.
Like I said, my wife was like, "You're being fucking stupid. Like this is absurd that you guys are arguing." I'm like, "But aren't you on my side?" And she's like, "I'm not on anybody's side. Like I'm not on either one of your side. Like just cut the shit."
we married so far above her.
Oh, she's so much better. Oh, she's too good for me.
Oh yeah, she is. I'm not gonna argue that. But anyway, that's it. You guys, I mean, people always bring it up and we're together, and it's like there it is.
Because you know why? And again, they want to see some drama. Right? They want to see us get back at it and argue at it. And I completely agree. Like, I look at stuff on YouTube. It's fun. If there's drama on, I watch it. But at 45, I just don't want it anymore, right?
I don't want any of that smoke.
You will start looking at the people that you value in your life, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, Mark helped me in the beginning and had no reason to do that whatsoever, right? Had no reason to put me in touch with Stephen Adelaide. Had no reason to do any of that stuff. Yeah. Right? Just it wasn't even, I should say, out of the kindness of his own heart. He just did it because that's what he does. He helps people.
Here's the thing, though. Jerry's making some epic shit now. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, a lot of people get in this industry and they just don't fucking know what they're doing. They put together a bullshit pre-workout and they have no fucking, they're not, like, we were talking about this with training. Like, it's like, you used to fucking love training. You saw me train today, man. I'm like a man possessed. I fucking love every second. And that's how your business should be. But you have these fucking social media influencers just doing it for the money. And trust me, when Jerry sent me this product, this Del Pearl, like this right here, I'll tell you what, I was like, I only take my own stuff 100%. When's the last time anybody saw me promote another brand on this channel? I don't fucking do it. I just don't fucking do it. Unless it's something fucking like, Blackstone Labs has a great diuretic. Their evaporate is awesome. Yeah. It's not Diazide, but that's good. Diazide will kill you. Right. But if you want a good natural diuretic, I love that shit, right? I was like, fuck it, I'll take it. I'm like, it's Jerry.
So I love Jerry. If he took it, he would feel it and then be like, what the hell's going on?
So I texted Jerry. I took it on Thursday. I texted Jerry on Friday, and I'm like, yo, I don't know if it's a supplement or maybe my wife put out last night, but like, I'm fucking flying. And then I woke up Saturday and I had to get up I had to go to the gym at 4 a.m. because my kids had soccer all day. And I'm like on the sideline, and usually, here's a story. Okay, hopefully you guys like long videos. We talk a lot. So I'm on the sideline, and nothing makes me more mad than soccer parents on our own team. Our team's fucking stupid. It's like we're losing to this team was amazing. We came in second to this team. We're losing 5-0. And one of the parents goes, I wonder how much we'll have to pay the ref for them to call for us. I'm like, usually that would drive me nuts. Let me explain why. Number one, it's an 8-year-old. They're 8-year-olds. The ref doesn't give a fuck about either. He doesn't know who the fuck we are. He doesn't know that Preston Lobliner is on the fucking TSC team, right? And I'm like, so I look at this parent, and I'm like, we're losing 5-0. Like, if the ref was bought and paid for, what would we be down 4-0? Right. But the old Mark would have completely trolled them and been like, are you retarded? So I think my overall mood and disposition is better.
That's what you notice. You notice the things that you would normally pop off on. You don't. But the thing is, like, again, I was medicated when I was younger, and it keeps you you can't get upset or excited or depressed. It kind of keeps you in the middle. Yeah. Kind of like a zombie. And I couldn't live my life like that. So this allows you to be a person. Yeah. It allows you to be yourself, but it allows you to take that edge off of the anxiety. And at the same time allows you that when you do get upset to come back down a baseline faster. And I notice for me, when I do that, I think clearer, right? I'm not thinking about punching somebody in the head when I'm back down calm again 2 seconds later. It kind of, that thought kind of is a fleeting thought, and it kind of goes
no more
away.
booking flights to Florida.
No more flights to Florida to go down there and punch people in the face.
No, you guys do not get to know
personal
that
joke.
But anyway, guys, that's the bottom line. So, where can they find you, Jerry?
They can get me biostraining.com. You can find the products in Tiger Fitness, and I just want to say thank you to the Tiger Fitness crew out there, because you guys remembered us doing our thing, and you guys are still around. Yeah. Right? Stuff that we talked about 7-8 years ago is popping up still. And I'm like, at least we made an impression. So we must have either A, taught you guys something, hopefully somewhere, B, made an impression.
Or we were just entertaining.
Or hopefully we're teaching you something now by being able to put differences aside and squash things and show you guys that, like, look, it doesn't matter. Like, when I picked up that phone, I didn't feel like I lost the argument when I texted Mark. I didn't feel like, I was being forced to do it by my wife or anything. I thought about it. I thought about it again, and I was like, this is the right thing to do. Let me reach out. Have a conversation like an actual adult and see where this goes. Maybe he's on the same page. Maybe he still hates me. I don't know, right? But the whole idea was the Jerry at 25 wouldn't have done that. The Jerry at 35 wouldn't have done that. The Jerry at 40, back 42, whatever I was at the time, did that. And this is how it works out. We wind up sitting here at Mark's house, in this beautiful house he invited me to stay with his friends and family, and of course the dog and everything else that's going on.
The dog is the main
training at Carbon Gym. Like, none of this would have happened if we kept those grudges.
He's going to steal my dog.
Yeah, the dog. I might move to Tennessee just hang out with the dog.
So anyway, guys, I'll put a link below to his brand. Follow Jerry. We appreciate everything. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, notification bell, all that good stuff. That's not a game.
Thanks, guys. What's up, Tiger Fitness crew? Jerry Ward here from GIFT Labs, and we're here today with, of course, Marc Lobliner to tell you guys about Del Pearl. So Del Pearl is an anti-anxiety product that I created because me, myself, I was born with anxiety, and I've lived with it my whole life. And I was always looking for something to take off that edge, so it just made my day a little bit better, and I could just stay calmer. And CBD worked really well for a while. Very expensive price tag. I knew there had to be a better option. That's where Del Pearl came in. So when I created Del Pearl, there are tons of different studies and information out there, which you guys can check yourself. An amazing product that helps you stay level. You can still get excited, you can still get upset, but it brings you back down to baseline very quick. And it also helps you just have an overall better sense of well-being throughout the entire day. So if you guys are looking for an anti-anxiety product, a well-being product, Del Pearl is the product for you guys.
And I take it myself. I love it.
And I've been taking it, of course. So, you know.
Of course.